The Peloponnesian League and the Delian League were two major alliances in ancient Greece that played pivotal roles in the geopolitical landscape of the region. These leagues, formed during the 5th century BCE, were primarily established for mutual defense and to enhance the power and influence of their leading city-states, Sparta and Athens respectively. While they shared some common goals, the Peloponnesian League and the Delian League were distinct in their formation, structure, membership, and impact on the course of Greek history. The Peloponnesian League, also known as the Spartan Alliance, was a coalition of Greek city-states led by Sparta. This alliance began to take shape in the early 6th century BCE and became more formalized by the 5th century BCE. The primary purpose of the Peloponnesian League was to provide mutual military support and to safeguard the interests of its members against external threats, particularly from the Persian Empire. Sparta, renowned for its military prowess and disciplined society, held a dominant position within the league. The structure of the Peloponnesian League was relatively simple and hierarchical. Sparta served as the hegemon, or leading state, with significant authority over the other member states. The league operated under a system where member states were expected to contribute troops and resources to collective military efforts led by Sparta. Decisions within the league were made through councils, but Sparta's influence was predominant, often dictating the league's policies and military strategies. Membership in the Peloponnesian League was largely composed of city-states located in the Peloponnesian Peninsula and central Greece. These included Corinth, Elis, Teia, and many others. The league's cohesion was rooted in shared interests and a mutual fear of external threats. Additionally, many of the member states were oligarchies or aristocracies, aligning ideologically with Sparta's conservative and militaristic society. The Peloponnesian League was not an imperial entity but instead a coalition based on mutual defense and the preservation of autonomy among its members. The Delian League, in contrast, was an alliance of Greek city-states led by Athens, established in 478 BCE in the aftermath of the Persian Wars. The primary objective of the Delian League was to continue the fight against Persia, protect Greek territories in the Aegean Sea, and secure freedom for the Ionian Greek cities under Persian control. The League's name derives from the island of Delos, where the alliance's treasury and administrative center were originally located. The structure of the Delian League was more complex and centralized compared to the Peloponnesian League. Athens emerged as the dominant power within the league, exerting considerable control over its operations. Member states were required to contribute either ships or financial tributes, which were pooled to fund the league's military endeavors. Over time, Athens began to assert greater control over the league, transforming it into an Athenian empire in all but name. The treasury was eventually moved from Delos to Athens, symbolizing the shift in power and the subordination of other member states to Athenian authority. Membership in the Delian League was more geographically diverse, encompassing city-states from across the Aegean Sea, the coast of Asia Minor, the islands of the Aegean, and parts of Thrace. Unlike the Peloponnesian League, which consisted mainly of oligarchies, the Delian League included a mix of political systems, with many member states being democracies influenced by Athens. The league's cohesion was maintained through the combined threat of Persian aggression and Athenian naval supremacy, which deterred defection and rebellion among the member states. The impact of the Peloponnesian League and the Delian League on Greek history is profound, particularly during the Peloponnesian War, a protracted and destructive conflict between the two alliances. This war highlighted the fundamental differences between the leagues and their leading city-states. The Peloponnesian War was sparked by a series of conflicts and rivalries between Athens and Sparta, exacerbated by their respective alliances. Athens' aggressive expansion and the imposition of its dominance over the Delian League's members alarmed Sparta and its allies, leading to increasing tensions. The war can be divided into several phases, including the Archidamian War, the Sicilian Expedition, and the Ionian or Decilian War, each characterized by different strategies and outcomes. During the Archidamian War, named after the Spartan king Archidamus II, the conflict was marked by annual invasions of Attica by the Spartans and Athenian naval raids along the Peloponnesian coast. Despite initial successes, neither side could secure a decisive victory. The war was temporarily halted by the Peace of Nicias in 421 BCE, a truce that ultimately failed to bring lasting peace. The Sicilian Expedition was a disastrous campaign launched by Athens against the city-state of Syracuse in Sicily, which was allied with Sparta. The expedition ended in a catastrophic defeat for Athens, severely weakening its military and financial resources. This emboldened Sparta and its allies, leading to renewed hostilities in the Ionian or Decilian War. The final phase of the war saw increased Persian involvement, as Persia provided financial support to Sparta in exchange for the promise of Greek territories in Asia Minor. Sparta used this support to build a formidable navy, challenging Athenian supremacy at sea. The decisive Battle of Aegospotami resulted in the destruction of the Athenian fleet, effectively ending the war. In 404 BCE, Athens surrendered, leading to the dissolution of the Delian League and the imposition of Spartan hegemony over Greece. The aftermath of the Peloponnesian War had significant consequences for both the Peloponnesian League and the Delian League. Sparta's victory established it as the dominant power in Greece, but this dominance was short-lived. The harsh terms imposed on Athens, including the dismantling of its walls and fleet, the installation of a pro-Spartan oligarchy known as the 30 Tyrants, and the tribute demanded from former Delian League members, fostered resentment and instability. Sparta's hegemony was challenged by internal dissent and external threats. The Corinthian War saw a coalition of former Spartan allies, including Athens, Thebes, Corinth, and Argos, rebel against Spartan dominance with Persian support. Although Sparta ultimately secured a peace settlement favorable to its interests, its hegemony continued to wane. The rise of Thebes, particularly after its victory at the Battle of Leuctra in 371 BCE, further eroded Spartan power, but leading to the eventual decline of the Peloponnesian League. The Delian League, although dissolved after Athens' defeat, left a lasting legacy. Athens' imperial ambitions and its role as the cultural and intellectual center of Greece during the 5th century BCE had a profound impact on Greek civilization. The democratic ideals and artistic achievements of the Athenian Golden Age continued to influence Greek and later Western culture long after the League's dissolution. In comparing the Peloponnesian League and the Delian League, several key differences emerge. The Peloponnesian League was characterized by its oligarchic and militaristic nature, with Sparta as the unquestioned leader. Its primary focus was mutual defense and the preservation of autonomy among its member states. The Delian League, on the other hand, evolved from a mutual defense alliance against Persia into an Athenian empire. Athens' democratic ideals, naval dominance, and cultural achievements shaped the League's character and operations. The two leagues also differed in their geographic composition and political diversity. The Peloponnesian League was concentrated in the Peloponnesian Peninsula and central Greece, with members sharing similar political systems and cultural values. The Delian League was more geographically dispersed, encompassing city-states with diverse political systems, including many democracies influenced by Athens. The contrasting leadership styles of Sparta and Athens further defined the leagues. Sparta's conservative and militaristic approach prioritized stability and defense, while Athens' ambitious and expansionist policies sought to spread its influence and control. These differing approaches ultimately led to the conflict that defined the 5th century BCE and reshaped the Greek world. In conclusion, the Peloponnesian League and the Delian League were two distinct alliances that played crucial roles in the history of ancient Greece. Their formation, structure, membership, and impact were shaped by the unique characteristics of their leading city-states, Sparta and Athens. The legacy of these leagues, particularly their roles in the Peloponnesian War and their contributions to Greek political and cultural development, continues to be a subject of study and admiration. Through their differences and conflicts, the Peloponnesian and Delian leagues highlighted the diversity and dynamism of ancient Greek civilization,